Great. So we're heading into the game shortly right now as we wait in lobby for JHU and Vani's Angels to get in. I'm joined by Steve Soda, and we'll be bringing you the League of Legends semifinal between JHU and Vani's Angels. So Steve, the winner of this goes on to the grand finals tomorrow at the Rutgers College Ave Student Center for Charlotte Classic 4. Who do you think's gonna win?
I believe if our team doesn't do macro errors during the game, then I believe we should be able to win.
Mm-hmm.
We have a deeper champion pool, I believe, than they do.
Yeah,
and so yeah.
But yeah, both teams are actually at a D3 average. So a few of the players are Diamond 5 and a couple of Masters in here. We do have Best Kennen NA for the Rutgers side. We have Alphas, Andez, Eternal Crystal, I believe. And the last player not in lobby right now is Virtue.
Yes, our mid laner.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about these players personally?
Yes, and then hopefully I don't leak. So hopefully the JHU is not listening, and then so our top laner is a one trick, and
Oh,
then but he does play other champion,
all right.
so he has like
Don't leak
up
the
her
one trick
sleeve.
though. Don't leak the
Yes,
one
yes,
trick.
I am not. And then best Canada NA, I mean you could tell by his name, and then I believe we should be able to win this. Okay, I can't leak because I
Yeah,
know how
yeah,
these
no
people
problem.
play.
What
Yeah.
do you know anything about the JHU side? Cause so their lineup is 25th Soul as the top laner, Trifaz as the jungler, the Rin Tosaka as mid lane, Kurian as AD carry, and potential 5 support. So, do you know anything about these players? Because their averages are pretty high, with 25th Soul being their primary carry in top lane.
Yeah, so my team on first week actually played against JHU, and I believe they played a lot around bot side, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and then that is where they won. So uh, hopefully maybe we'll see that in this series.
All right, so it looks like the bot lane is Kurian and potential 5. So we'll really look for these two to carry the game for Johns Hopkins University here. That being said, I do think that Andez and Alphas are no slouches either. Both players are pretty solid and are able to hold their own as the SR. I mean, not the SR. Sorry, as the MMR is relatively similar.
Yes, it seems like they're both one of those hyper carry uh Andes and then the JHU AD carry. They seem like they're those hyper carry players. So we'll see if they take out the Varus, Tristana, maybe an Ezreal to keep it
Mm-hmm.
safe in the lane.
So what are some good meta champions here? What can we expect in this pick band phase coming out here?
So the meta right now in top lane is mostly tanks like Sion, Cho'Gath, and then
Mm-hmm.
Orb. And then the mid lane, the jungler is also the standard Sejuani. You could take out the Kha'Zix if you want to bully the other jungler, and then in mid lane, same as always, those control mage, and then bot lane is those hyper carry, whereas Varus, Jinx, Ezreal could also be there,
Mm-hmm.
and then Caitlyn, of course. Caitlyn is really strong with Morgana, so we'll probably see the Morgana ban away. And then for support, it's very versatile on what you want this patch.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about specifically since the top lane seems to be a matchup that's really interesting between Eternal Crystal and 25th Soul. There is a discrepancy in MMR with Eternal Soul with Eternal Crystal being a current D5 player and 25th Soul being a current Masters ranked player. And you did say before that Eternal Crystal is a sort of one trick, while 25th Soul is the primary carrier for JHU. Does that mean that we expect, since JHU has clearly done their homework on our team, on this team, they should know what hero that the Eternal Crystal does play? So I fully expect a targeted ban at Eternal. That being
Mm-hmm.
said, I don't know how big his hero pool is, but looking through 25th Soul's hero pool, we can clearly see that he does play quite a variety of champions in League of Legends.
Yes, he does. So I think it's gonna be like a skill matchup, but depending on what champions they pick. But like, let's say if JHU is more of those team fight oriented, and then Soul picks a tank, and then if Internal Crystal picks a tank, it's not really much of a skill based game. It's gonna be about macro, unlike how the wave will be managed. If you could set up a perfect gank, could you screw up the other top laner by denying CS and stuff?
Mm-hmm. So, other than just the top lane matchup that we have here, I mean, it's very interesting to see that Best Kennen, a former top laner in Challenger, is now doing the jungle role. He'll be playing against Treefaz in the jungle. What do you expect that to be like? What's the transition from top lane to jungle, and how do you think he's gonna perform today?
Best Can NA been playing jungle for a quite long time. I think he started like I think last semester, so he does know. And then since he was a master player, I think he knows all the routes and where to go. So I think he is gonna be able to match the JHU jungler.
So we're just waiting right now for, I believe it is potential five, their last player, to get into the lobby. As soon as he's in, we can start the pick ban phase and get into the game. Seems JHU is a little bit late here. Um, Perhaps they were doing I think it was track and field. A few of them were
Mhm.
doing at 8 p.m. on a Saturday. Track and field.
I mean, today is a good weather for track and field.
They all just
It
said,
was.
"Screw it, we're gonna go running today."
I'm not sure about how their weather was in their state, but it was
Oh,
very
John
nice
John
today.
John Hopkins is in New York actually, so we're really close to them.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I
what's
guess.
int? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sorry. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say maybe I guess their weather was pretty good, so probably
Mm-hmm.
ran around the block.
Ran around the block a few times. So it seems here we do have a substitute by JHU. Minecraft Kid 2008 is in for, let's see, Treefaz actually. So perhaps Minecraft Kid going to play that jungle instead of Treefaz. I know he's a mid lane substitute, so perhaps he would take mid lane and Rin Tosaka move over the jungle. Whatever is the case, though, it just seems that JHU electing to go for that substitute this game. While we have some time, let's check out the bracket for the other side of the tournament. Do you know if they've already made it to, if the other side of the bracket has already made it to the grand finals, or is that also taking place tonight too?
Um, I'm not sure yet. I didn't check, but they should be done by now because the grand final is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it seems PSU is in the grand finals from the other side.
Mm-hmm. So basically, what happened is PSU beat Cactus yesterday, and so Cactus will be playing the third place match. Just so you guys know, the Scarlet Classic 4 does have third place prizing for these teams. So one out of the 4 teams coming to land tomorrow, there will be a team that goes home empty-handed out of the 4 that do compete. The prizing provided by our wonderful sponsors. I believe we have Tesba. We also have Soylent as well. Come to the event and get your daily meal replacement in Soylent. That's spelled Soylent. Look it up. Google it. They're great. So it looks like the top laner in Eternal Crystal is still in the bathroom right now, so we're not able to start just yet, and it seems JHU is all ready to go in the game. In the meantime, let's pull over this banner here.
So for the grand finals, the first place prize will be 60% cash prize pool with $50 Amazon gift card. And then the second place will be like the 30% with 5 MSI keyboards.
5
Thank you to
MSI
MSI.
keyboards.
Yes.
Nice.
And then third place match will be 10% of the cash prize. And then MSI donated $400 to the cash prize pool. So thank you to them.
Shouts to MSI being one of our diamond sponsors for this year. Able to hit us with all those prizes, all that support. Thank you very much, MSI. Seems we're almost ready while the team does talk with one another about various things. Looks like we're in to the pick and ban phase. Alright, so the first ban for Vani's Angels is Gangplank.
Yes, this is a target ban against their top laner.
And the counter ban from JHU in Jax coming out. Another top lane ban.
Yes, that is the champion, our top laner One Tricks. So it does seem JHU has done their homework.
So all 3 bans right now targeted towards the top lane, but a Kha'Zix ban coming out here from JHU.
Yes, Kha'Zix's been buffed recently and he's super strong against just one-shotting the AD carry.
That assassin jungler in Kha'Zix able to take down the AD carry pretty easily means that, you know, they need to get rid of that from JHU.
Come on, I won't hurt you. I promise.
The last ban for the first phase for Vani's Angels is Olaf here. Another jungle ban, actually.
Cowardice.
Wow, all 6 bans going towards the jungle and top side, and a first pick comes in from Vani's Angels of Swain. So what is it about Swain right now that's so instant pick worthy?
So Swain has the AoE drain from his ultimate, so it is very annoying to deal with. And then it is very hard to kill him because his build will give him more tankiness to him.
Oh, cool. And what about his other abilities, too? Oh, it seems like JHU has locked in Vlad to counter that Swain in the top lane. So a Swain versus Vlad top lane matchup.
Yes, I think it is in power level. I think it is similar because a nice flank from both will be very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that Caitlyn pick because she is super powerful right now.
Mm-hmm.
She
And
has
what?
a lot of combo like Morgana.
Mm-hmm. So out of these bans, what? Oh, there it is actually. The jungle in Zac being locked in. So with all these targeted bans to the jungle and top lane, it seems that um, Vani's Angels selected to go for the top lane and jungle right away. Ooh.
Yes, that is a smart idea
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this
because
80 carry pick here from Andes though?
I believe for Jinx, I feel like Caitlyn has more pressure in the lane than Jinx. However, Jinx has more of the a team fighting potential with the Zac and Swain. So if Jinx doesn't fall behind, she'll be very good in team fights.
So the both teams actually going for top lane, jungle, and 80 carry for their first three picks on each side. What do you know about for our newer viewers to League of Legends? What do you know about this Kane hero here? I know he hasn't been around. He's a more recent release.
So for Kane, he has very good clear with his Q and W, which is a good sustain. So he will be very healthy in the jungle. So I believe he probably go into Zac's jungle and try to pick him off.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has similar mobility with the Zac because of his Q and his E.
So it seems that the three bans coming through so far in this latter half of the banning phase are Thresh, Fiora, and Cassiopeia. Is the mid laner for Vani's Angels a Cassiopeia player? Is that a targeted ban, or is that something that they can't play against?
So if this Vladimir goes mid lane, and then the Cassiopeia will be a counter pick against Vlad because she does more of a sustained DPS than Vladimir in the lane.
Mm-hmm. So the
And then
matchup is towards Cassiopeia, right? In that matchup.
yes,
Ooh.
and
What do you think about that pick
a
right there?
Trindamere. I do not think this a good pick, especially with what they're going for, because Vladimir is like a flanking champion, but Trindamere is one of those a split push champion. So their team comp is a little wonky, and then so we do have to see how they play this out because they have three things going on. They have a flanking champion like Vladimir. They have a team fight Caitlyn, but a split push Trindamere.
Yeah,
So I
very
guess he
interesting
is
actually.
trying to beat in 1v1 and trying to carry from top lane.
Yeah, maybe that's just 25th Soul just putting on the carry pants on Tryndamere, taking that 1v1 versus Swain. Is Tryndamere perhaps a counter to Swain, or is that just a skill matchup?
So since we see the Renekton pick from our Rutgers, we'll see the Swain going mid against the Vladimir, and then Renekton will be against Tryndamere in the top lane. In the early levels, Renekton should win, but we do not want their Tryndamere to go in the late game where Tryndamere could probably 1v1 the Renekton.
Yeah, of course, and it seems that both teams going for that flex pick in the first round of the draft, allowing both those top lane picks to go mid lane. But it seems here that we're going to see a Renekton, Zac, Swain, Jinx, and Alistar for Vani's Angels, whereas JHU will be playing the Tryndamere, the Kayn, the Vladimir, the Caitlyn, and the Janna. So which one of these teams would you give the advantage to?
I would say in top lane, Renekton will have early levels on 1, 2, and 3. And then if he is able to shut down Tryndamere, then Tryndamere will not be able to do anything the whole game because he will not be able to match the Renekton later on. But since Tryndamere does have Ignite, if he does get the first kill and then snowballs the lane, that is no good for the Renekton.
So we just have to
But
wait
I am
3
not
minutes
sure.
here for the spectator delay to get into the game. So like you said, Tryndamere is kind of needs to get ahead, and he's taking Ignite here instead of Teleport. So he's definitely going for that lane dominance. So what about the jungle matchup here? Who wins in a brawl in the jungle between Zac and Kayn?
It does depend on what the Kane is able to do in this game, but I believe Zac has more potential because of his slingshot range. However, it will be a little hard to gank a mid lane because of the pool. But if Swain is able to bait that out and first, which is like 24 seconds cooldown for the pool, then Zac should be able to gank really easily in mid lane. And then Jinx and Alistar could set up a gank really well for the bot lane for against Caitlyn Janna with all the CC.
Yeah, it seems that Vani's Angels actually has a really tank-heavy composition with 4 champions, able to really build that armor, that magic resistance, and that health. And the only squishy you would call it, right, is Jinx, right?
Yes.
So in team fights, I definitely have to give the advantage to Vani's Angels then. I mean, they're able to CC better with Swain, Renekton, Alistar, and Zac all having CC, and even Jinx having CC. Whereas JHU barely has any, if I'm correct. I think Janna might have some CC. Tryndamere has that slow. I don't know about Kayn, but Vladimir definitely doesn't have any CC, right?
Yes, the only CC that the JHU have will be slows and disengage from Janna.
So what's the win condition here for JHU? How do they really pull ahead in this team? Because I do know that Venice Angels will be looking for those team fights in the mid game, but what can JHU do to stop that?
I believe they should, if they could get early kill in the early levels and then try to get snowball their lane, if they are able to do the 1-3-1 come Rutgers side, then they should be able to win the game. However, that is a very big if, and if they do fail to do this, then they will not be able to close out the game in the mid game and the late game stage.
And I know Teleport is actually one of the strongest summoner spells right now in League of Legends. And it's really strange that JHU hasn't actually gone for a single one of those. So they do have a teleportless comp, meaning that the bot lane fight should go towards the side of Rutgers if a TB fight does happen. Alright. So
Yes, if they're able to put deep ward into the bot lane bush, then with the Zac slingshot and the Renekton TP, it should be very disastrous for the bot lane of the JHU side.
Alright, so it looks like we're getting into the game now. Both sides ready to go as we enter the rift. Just to make sure, Steve, you're seeing what I'm seeing, right?
Yes, we are entering the game.
Alright, so I apologize to everybody. We're going to use the directed camera instead since we're not casting together, so we're just going to be using that to keep pace with one another. Just so we don't have any mix-ups in casting. Alright, so it looks like both sides lining up across the river right now to stop from any early invades. Let's see here the itemization from both teams. So let me just line them up real quick. In terms of order.
Minions have spawned.
Alright, so in this early game, JHU is really looking for an early pick onto the Rutgers side, trying to get that Vladimir and that Kane and that Tryndamere ahead in lane. If they're able to get ahead in lane, then they can win the mid game against the Vani's Angels here.
What do you think about the itemization that the Tryndamere got? He, instead for the Doran's Blade and for the sustain, he got the Longsword to try to get that extra damage in against Renekton.
So that longsword build, I don't really know too much about it. I do think that it is better in the early game since you have all those potions, right, to out-sustain your enemy.
Yes, and then it does give him a little bit more power in the early game, so with his crit, then he should be able to knock out the Renekton.
So we see the bot lane right here, trades going back and forth, and Vani's Angels actually getting decently low here, whereas the health pool for JHU seems to be fine. A mid lane gank actually comes out for Vani's Angels, best candidate NA, and Virtue. First blood going over to Virtue there. That mid lane matchup not going as expected, as you see Rutgers going in here on the bottom lane side. But a counter from JHU does mean that the Rutgers side comes out worse for wear.
This is a very good gank for the best cannon because the Vladimir did not hit level 3, so he has only Q and E.
Yeah, we see action here and a flash away from the Kane, and another kill coming through for Virtue actually onto that substitute Minecraft kid. It seems that both the mid lane and the jungler getting bullied from the side of JHU against the Vani's Angels, Virtue, and best candidate NA. Ooh, and they early rotate over, and an awkward flash coming out there from Alphas. I don't know if you caught that there, but he simply flashed into the minions randomly.
Yes, he did try to flash WQ, but he did miss the W timing.
And a solo kill actually coming out for 25th Soul, that carry from JHU like we described in the pick ban phase. He's 27 CS right now to the 6 CS of Eternal Crystal. Oof. And this double buff on Swain here really chunking out the Vladimir in lane. And without TPs on JHU's side, they're not able to get to lane, back to lane very fast.
Yes, but even though JHU didn't, the Vladimir did not have TP, because of a Swain failed gank bot lane, the Vladimir was able to have some CS lead for a few seconds there.
So this mid lane matchup definitely going in the favor of Vani's Angels since the double buff is on Swain, but still this top lane matchup, I mean, you see here a Cloth Armor and a Dorian's Blade for Renekton, whereas the Tiamat completed for the Tryndamere, and an early game coming out again from Minecraft Kid. This early game aggression from this Kane really, you know, stepping it up here, trying to get this Tryndamere ahead, like you said.
Yes, if they do get this Tryndamere ahead, it will be very hard to match the Tryndamere with the Renekton due to the raw damage that the Tryndamere have with the Ignite and the new Runes Conqueror for true damage.
Ooh, but we see a gank here coming out from Best Cannon NA. A 2v1 on to 25th Soul. He's getting dangerously low. He pops that health back and flashes away. Do they continue for the gank? No, it looks like they actually stop right there. That was so close right there, Steve. If he almost got that kill, the lane could have been changed completely.
Yes, if they did get the kill there, since you see the wave pushing, Tryndamere probably missed a lot of this wave, and then that should put him back.
And a Best Cannon NA coming from top lane straight to mid lane for a gank. Ignite goes down on Vladimir, and another kill for this Vlad. Virtue going 3-0, shutting down JHU's mid laner.
Yes, this is very good because we do not want 2 winning lanes. Since we have a winning lane, mid lane, this should shut down the power of the Vladimir in the late game and mid game.
And who do you give this bot lane matchup to? As we see Jinx here farming under tower. Who really wins this bot lane matchup, and how does it go into the mid game with these AD carries?
So right now, I believe it is very even here. The CS is 53 to 54. Even if the JHU bot lane win, their team comp isn't very team fight oriented. So I will give it to the bot lane of Rutgers.
Ooh, and a top lane dive, a 2v1 coming in from JHU here. And Tryndamere popping that ultimate means he'll be invincible, but he goes down to Eternal Crystal actually. That tower dive not so successful from JHU. And another kill going to Rutgers means that the top lane matchup is relatively even.
Yes, they played the Tryndamere right there played very fast and then did not wait for the Kayn to come, so they were not able to drop aggro on each other from the turret. So the Tryndamere was able to die that game.
And you see Kayn here coming up to the farm, the top lane, while Best Cannon NA goes to the jungle and looks for more farm. So in this early game so far, would you give the advantage here to Rutgers or JHU so far, in terms of win conditions?
But so far, I'll give it to the Rutgers because they were able to successfully shut down the mid lane Vladimir, so he would not have power in the mid and to late game. And the Tryndamere did lose his pressure now because of that the first death, and the Renekton was able to catch up a little bit with his CS.
And that blue buff being donated over from Best Cannon to Virtue means that Virtue can get constantly aggressive there in the mid lane. You know, Rin Tosaka with the and a top lane gank, actually a 2v1 coming in from Vani's Angels, and it looks like Vladimir's TPing top lane, and Kayn comes in as well. Renekton has the Ignite on him and he drops, and dangerously low, Zac is running away underneath turret, and he's popped his passive here and he dies under turret. So a tower dive, a counter dive, excuse me, comes in from JHU, turning a 2v1 into a 3v2, and JHU coming out ahead there, while Virtue TPing top lane. This seems a little bit suspect there, as he TPs in 1 vs 3, but you see here he's completely fine here, going in 1 vs 3 by himself. That early game Swain taking the control. With all that gold advantage he has, he wins the 1v3, killing 2 of them, and backing Vladimir away.
Yes, this the turret dive was very good for the on the JHU side. They got 3 kills back. However, because of the virtual TP, they did lose the lead again, and they are behind 1.1k gold.
Oh, and aggression comes in from the bot lane as Alpha flashes in there to knock up the Caitlyn. And it looks like Best Cannon NA has joined the fight and flashes everywhere. Potential 5, as that looks like to be the target right here. But Alphas drops dangerously low, getting away with only about 100 HP there. Ooh, and another top lane gang comes in here, a 2v2 right here. Ooh, and it looks like Tryndamere didn't pop his ultimate in time, and Eternal Crystal gets him down. Action everywhere right now as Jinx lands the trap onto Caitlyn. Best Cannon dying under tower there without his passive up means that another kill goes over JHU's side. After all that action, let's take stock here. So it seems that top lane tower's gone over to Vani's Angels, and there is a 2.5k gold lead here for the Vani's Angels side. So with all that action, Swain seems to be fed, but Best Cannon NA really not holding his own in the game so far, being 0-2-2.
Yes, he had a failed gank bot maybe with the Janna ultimate, which disengaged both Alistair and Zac's E, and then they were not able to capitalize on the gank on the bottom side.
So really what's standing out to me right now is the fact that Virtue is 6-0-1, participating in 7 out of the 8 kills for his team actually. This Swain TPing under tower in a 1v3 scenario, picking off 2. Super impressive play here from Virtue so far.
Yes, and I do like the rotation here from the Rucker side. For Renekton, they didn't need to go top lane because the lane was on their Trendemir side. And then going mid with the Swain will help further this gold lead.
And it seems like Rutgers right now up a tower to nil towers right now, so they definitely have the advantage in that. So for those new viewers, League of Legends, what are the objectives in this game? What can we expect for both teams to get? As never mind that a mid lane dive comes in for best candidate A actually. On top of that, Vladimir Kane's there to respond. So circling back to the previous point, what are some of the objectives in this game? What do both teams want? What do they go for?
So both teams in this game do want to get down the turret and then rotate meaning the champions going from one lane to the other lane to further up their gold lead, and then they do want to get the objectives from the dragon and the Rift Herald to expedite their gold lead and to their team fight paralysis. So right now they do want to get that mid turret down from the Rucker side. So by doing that, Vladimir will be stuck in the mid lane with the Trendemir stuck in the top lane in order to get those two top turrets in order to flank from their sides.
So it seems right here there actually is a top lane farm discrepancy, whereas the Trendemir picking up 103 CS, the Renekton only has 83 here, a 20 CS advantage for that top laner. But unfortunately, JHU's top laner, that carry top laner, is 1-3-2 right now, not performing as expected with that early game lead. Ooh, seems best candidate unspotted there. Maybe Virtue here bullies out the enemy mid laner here, gets the tower by himself. It does look like that actually. And a root comes down from the Swain onto the Vladimir. Big damage here. Oh, and Virtue misses that jump in the bot lane. Flashes in there actually with the Alistar following up. Combos everywhere, but they didn't pull it off successfully. And it looks like Rutgers, another failed gank on that bot lane. But that does mean that there is pressure there. That means that the Swain is actually rotating inward as neither the bot lane players have flash. And a kill coming in from the rocket of Andes. The ultimate burning down that Janna right there. And a flash in from Virtue and just deleting that Caitlyn actually. 7-0-2 and another tower for Rutgers side. This game is all Vani's Angels right now.
Yes, what happened there with the interaction is when Zac is...
Oof, and another dive coming in here. Virtue and the rest of Vani's Angels killing another one. Rooting down Vladimir too. Oh, almost getting him, but they choose to back out instead. It seems to be a 4v1 under tower here as the respawn's coming for JHU.
This is very unfortunate for JHU because their win condition was to get at least the first blood and a kill in the mid lane, but because of the Zac's gank in the mid lane, they were not able to do that, and then the Vladimir got shut down very hard.
So this Vladimir being shut down, this Trendemir being shut down, you can see across the scoreboard right now that JHU is not having a good time. Let's check out the gold here, and we can clearly see here that Virtue with 8,600 gold on his side compared to the 5,000 gold on the Rin Tosaka. I mean, that gold right there, the discrepancy is huge. I mean, he's able to pick up a full Zhonya's Hourglass ahead of his counterpart.
Yes, the Swain is about an item and a half up against the Vladimir, and then now Vladimir should not be able to do anything against the Swain.
And that first Ocean Drake going over to the Vani's Angels means that they get to regenerate quicker outside the team fight, correct?
Yes, the Ocean Dragon which they took gives the mana and HP regen over time, not in combat, and this should help the Swain harass the mid lane more with his spells.
So both bot lane towers going down, so they're at the tier 3 in bot lane. 4 turrets to 0 for Vani's Angels here. So look for them to start up this Rift Herald. Actually, they're grouping up as 4 with that Renekton and the split push side towards the bot lane to answer that Tryndamere. It seems like JHU can't do anything but just watch them take this Rift Herald.
Yes, they have no pressure in either lane, on the top and the mid lane, so this was a free Rift Herald for the Rutgers side. And with this, they should be able to get the mid turret or the top turret, and maybe set up potentially for the Baron.
Yeah, huge chunks of damage coming out from this Tryndamere as he flashes and E's to get that kill on Eternal Crystal. But the answer is there from Virtue as he rotates towards the bot lane to avenge his teammate. But wait, Zac caught out here. Beskinen dropping dangerously low, but his teammate Alpha is blocking for his teammate right here as a 3v4 comes out of the top lane. JHU flashing 2 teammates ahead of time to get towards Alphas, securing that kill, and the Vladimir going even further with flashes being burnt on both sides. Caitlyn throwing at that ace in the hole means that Rutgers has to retreat even further, and JHU coming out on top there with 1 kill in the top lane and 1 kill in the bot lane. Ooh, but we see here that Eternal Crystal wants to answer this as he TPs into 4 enemy JHU players. And the Swain is there to answer that cleanup, churning out huge amounts of damage, getting that Vladimir to use that pool. The Kayn flashes out of there, and no kills are exchanged in that whole fight.
Yes, the Rutgers side went a little too deep there onto the JHU with without knowing where the Vladimir was, and now they did not throw their lead, but they did give away free kills to the JHU side.
So the gold lead's still with Rutgers here though, as they have a 4k gold lead still. And JHU not pressuring any of these towers. I mean, they're going for these counter dives, they're going for these team fights. All in all, 3 flashes, burnt by JHU, while 3 flashes again for the Rutgers side as well. So both teams, 6 flashes being burnt, but no kills in that extended team fight right there.
Yes, even though the JHU got some kills there and not any, they were not able to get any objectives, but it was a little breathing room for them. So the Rutgers side would not be able to get anything else.
Yeah, so some of these items coming in now for the Vani's Angels side. Swain having that Zhonya's Hourglass, that fully stacked Rods of Ages, and the Infinity Edge finish for this Jinx means that they can group up and siege down these towers. You see here that the Rift Herald being unleashed by Best Cannon and NA, while the split pushing Tryndamere and 25th Soul takes down the top lane. So it seems Rutgers here grouping up as 5 in the mid lane, trying to take down these turrets while not even answering the split push of 25th Soul, saying they can just take more towers before he can really get anything. But Best Cannon NA, jumping in here into the enemy nexus, into the enemy base, and Swain here popping off, deleting that Caitlyn in JHU side, and another kill coming over onto that Kayn. 3 kills for Vani's Angels here, and a mid lane inhibitor turret being knocked down for Rutgers means that they pressure inward towards the base more and more. An inhibitor being taken, and it looks like they're going for the win actually. They're going on top of these Nexus turrets. All that's left for JHU to defend here are Janna and the Tryndamere. First Nexus turret goes down as they look towards the second, but it looks like Rutgers in Vani's Angels is backing out, maybe scared of the respawns coming in for JHU. I mean, they took 2 tier 2 turrets right there. They took the inhibitor turret and a Nexus turret. I mean, you gotta say, Rutgers, it's all Vani's Angels right now.
Yeah, this is a few little solo kills from the JHU.
Ooh, but 25th Soul going in onto that Jinx right there, that immobile 80 carry, taking him out, and even more action heading in as Kurian dropping dangerously low from the JHU side, and a flash in from Best Cannon means that he takes him down, looking for that low HP squishy support in Janna, whereas Alpha's comes in with that pulverize, knocking him up for his teammates to secure that kill. And this Swain, this 11-0-6 Swain, popping off, deleting this Kane, chasing him down as the Zac re-enters the fight. But the Vladimir trades in and gets alphas and swarms everywhere. Everyone's jumping around. Beskanene taking down that enemy Vlad, and 3 members of Rutgers chasing down this Kane. Can he get away? He can't, actually. And Virtue coming up right there, and it seems all in all members of JHU were killed during that team fight. I mean, you saw in the beginning of the team fight, Tryndamere dropping first and giving time for him to respawn before the rest of his team even died.
Yes, this is very unfortunate for the JHU side, where now, since they have no power, the Swain was able to steamroll all over them without any previous wound from JHU other than from the mid lane. But they're not going to be able to kill this Swain anytime soon with their 6k gold lead down, and then no damage from the Caitlyn and the Vladimir.
Yeah, so how do JHU pull this back? What is their... do they look for a pick here? Do they have to shut down Virtue? That they get him out of the team fight, you know, and look to kill the rest of the members of Vani's Angels?
I do not believe the JHU have any way to come back from this other than pray that Rutgers throws every single team fight and they're able to split push.
So it's up to Vani's Angels to throw this game. It looks like it's all of them right now as Vani's Angels groups up towards that top lane to siege it down.
Yes, the 2 tanks are just able to walk up because JHU has no damage, and then zone off to the turret.
And it looks like Beskanene coming here for a flank, backing up, going under the inhibitor turret. 1v5, Beskanene dragging back this Vladimir, taking him down. And another turret goes towards the side of Rutgers. As you see, the minions in the mid lane have actually taken down that second Nexus turret, meaning that they have an exposed Nexus with no turrets. So Rutgers grouping up here for that 5v4 with the super minion. They go in and take down the Caitlyn, unaware of his positioning, and teamfight dropping Tryndamere dangerously low as the rest of Rutgers turns around and burns Minecraft Kid 2008. And you see here Andes taking another kill, killing Tryndamere, their carry right now, and the Nexus dropping dangerously low. And it looks like this game is all Vani's Angels right now, and Vani's Angels wins game 1 of the TSCIV Semifinals.
Yes, congratulations to Rutgers for their game 1 against the JHU.
Alright, so now that they've won game 1, it looks like Rutgers, Vani's Angels up ahead right now. And so for the viewers right now, Scarlet Classic 4, we do have, it is a Rutgers LAN. So when we say Rutgers, we mean more than one team, but primarily the team we're focusing on right now is Vani's Angels.
Yes, the other so for that game, it was very unfortunate for the JHUs from the draft, since they picked the Kane and the Tryndamere. It was their demise, because I believe they should have swapped Sejuani for the Sejuani or J4 for the jungle, and then probably picked a tank top laner like Ornn, and then try to go play around the Caitlyn and the Vladimir. However, since they picked the Kane and the Tryndamere, it was very unfortunate from the draft for the JHU side.
So we're experiencing some technical difficulties, as like we can't enter the game right now. So it seems like you might have to go through the tournament code here. I'm gonna minimize the screen and drag this over so you guys can't see it. So taking stock of game 1, we see that Rutgers could. I mean, sorry, JHU should have picked a tankier jungler, correct? To
Yes, and
so.
probably a top laner to play against around the Vlad and the Caitlyn.
Mhm.
However, since they had more than one, they had too many tactics into their draft, so they were not able to capitalize on what they picked for the first round.
So they're pretty much putting they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're splitting them up too much, right? So they really have to choose which player to allow to hyper carry, or choose a few players to hyper carry instead of having them all be able to hyper carry, right?
Yes. Coming into the game too, I think JHU should ban Swain. I mean, not. I'm sorry, not Swain. Probably Zach, or they could also ban Swain, or they could pick the Swain themselves. But I do believe they should switch around the draft by picking other a single strategy instead of two.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're headed back into pick band here.
Let's get at 'em.
1 second to.
I'll come back stronger. I do not.
And then we do see that Zach, Darius, and the Gangplank banned from here from in the first rotation. The Gangplank, of course, against the 25th Soul.
They fear me.
The Scion is very OP because of the raw tankiness and pure damage in the top lane, and then of course Rutgers banning Swain away because they do not want the JHU to get that.
So it seems here I've actually moved the League of Legends client pretty much off the screen, so I actually can't see it. So the stream can't see what we're talking about right now. But the bans for JHU side are Jax, Darius, and Kha'Zix, while Vani's Angels chooses to ban that Swain out and Scion and Gangplank.
Yes, they do not want the JHU side to get Swain on blue side because they're able to first pick it, so they banned away to Swain. And they're opting in for the Caitlyn on Rutgers side, and then the Ezreal pick onto the JHU side. They pick Kane again in the JHU, and then hopefully he is able to pressure more in this game in order for it to work. However, since Zach had the early lead against the Kane, he was not able to do anything in the ganks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see JHU picking the Vladimir again, so they are trying to go for the similar style of the flanking maneuver from the JHU. However, once again, if they do die again in their level 2, they will not be able. That is pretty much GG unless the Rutgers side throws.
So it looks like Virtue here, Best Cannon NA going for that Zac again, whereas on the side of JHU, they go for the similar team composition actually with that Vladimir and Kane, similar to last game. And a fourth ban coming out from Vani's Angels is Trinmere, so they're taking away 25th Soul's carry top laner.
They also took out the Zillion here to make it more annoying for the Kane and the Vladimir and the Kane.
So Zillion's ultimate is what? Is a stopwatch? What is it exactly?
So Zillion ultimate is you put an extra life onto another champion or yourself. It is basically like a guardian angel, and then you come back alive with about 75% HP, and that is very big annoyance for the JHU, like the Kane and the Vladimir when they do want to kill one, burst one down.
And this is the second time Rutgers actually elects to ban this Fiora. So far they've banned the Gangplank and Fiora both games against JHU's top laner 25th Soul. I mean, last game you really saw Virtue basically winning and carrying that game for Vani's Angels side, finishing that game with, I believe, a 14-0 scoreline, if I remember correctly. And so,
Yes.
It's really up to this enemy team in JHU to look for a counter against him, because it seems like the mid laner will be Zillion this time. And Ornn locked in for the top lane. Jungle seems to be this Kane, and so the last pick for Vani's Angels side looks to be the support right now, whereas JHU is still hovering over their support and their top laner.
I don't believe there's much a carry jungler, carry top lane left for the top lane. So they are gonna last pick this. They are gonna last pick the top lane, and then I believe they could probably pick Cho'Gath here for more tankiness in their team comp, because they do not have any tanks for JHU. Oh, there you go, the Kled. He is one of those top lane pick against the Ornn.
Mm-hmm.
And then if again, like the last game, if Kled does steamroll Ornn, then it's gonna be very hard for the Ornn. But this time, the Kled has more teamfight paralysis with his ultimate, which is charge. And so all he does is click on a destination, and then he will run very fast.
So the Kled able to engage from long range, and that Kane able to assassinate, with this Vladimir able to lay down that damage. What do you think so far about these two support picks, actually? We have Nami for JHU, and we have Karma for the Rutgers side.
So for the Nami, it does synergize really well with Ezreal, because Ezreal Q is able to proc the Nami's on-hit E, which amplifies your damage for three autos or 3 abilities. I do like the JHU's team comp much better now, because they do have more of a synergy with the AoE. And then for Rutgers, they are putting all their eggs in the basket onto this Caitlyn, and they do have a big peel for Karma and Zillion, so the Caitlyn would not be able to die in these fights.
Alright, so as we're loading into the game here, we have a 3-minute spectator delay again. So, walk me through this right now. What are the win conditions for Vani's Angels? I know you said the Caitlyn is their hyper carry. Does that mean they have to group up in the mid game and take down those turrets? Or is there a way for Zillion, and Ornn to carry the game?
So what the top lane right now want to do for the Ornn is to go even against the Kled, because if Kled gets the earlier kill and then hits level 6 first, then he'll be able to gank mid lane against Virtue, which is or now since he has TP, he could TP bot and then try to carry out for the Ezreal and the Nami. So, but on the Rutgers side, if they able to survive the mid game and the late game, the Caitlyn should be able to dish out a lot of damage from the Karma or the Sancer with with Virtue's ultimate, which will be very hard for the JHU to kill the Caitlyn.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think about this Karma pick for alphas here? I mean, if it is a protect the Caitlyn comp, I would have personally liked to see more of a Tom Kench or a Braum, or maybe even a Morgana, possibly.
Mm-hmm. I do think Braum could be very good too here, because of the Ezreal's because Braum will be able to block a lot of Ezreal's damage. However, I believe they don't want another tank, especially when they have a Zac and an Ornn. So I guess they want a shield power from the Karma. which is able to speed up the Ornn, Caitlyn, and Zillion and Zac with the mantra E.
Mm-hmm. And 25th Soul here, this time around, he doesn't have that flash ignite like he had on that Tryndamere from last game. He's got that flash teleport this time, so he is able to join in on these fights and make his presence a little bit more known than last game.
Yes, if the Kled does get 6 very fast, then he is able to base and then walk down bot lane and then press his charge against the Caitlyn and Karma. But it will be very tricky because Caitlyn Karma is very fast because of the mantra E.
Mm-hmm.
So the Nami does have to land her bubble very accurately.
So how does JHU win this game? They know they have the Kayn that can one-shot, the Kled that can get that early game advantage, but what does the Ezreal really do in terms of this team fight? You know, he's very slippery as an AD carry, so his role is to, poke down the tanks here, take them out of the fight, or does he build Frozen Gauntlet? Does he build Triforce? What's the path here for Curian?
I do believe they pick Ezreal because it is a safe pick. So the Ezreal and the Nami should be able to go against the Caitlyn Karma. And then yes, he does build the Muramana, and then I believe he should go the Iceborne Gauntlet because there's too many speed up on the Rucker side from the Zillion and the Karma. So yes, his focus is to poke out tanks and then try to poke out the Caitlyn in the bot lane.
Alright, welcome to the Rift here as we get into our second game of this League of Legends semifinals. This is the Scarlet Classic 4 qualifiers right now for the LAN itself, happening tomorrow at the Rutgers Student Center, the College Avenue Student Center. The League of Legends final will be the last game of the night, the last tournament for our event. So definitely check us out then tomorrow. And right now, we get into the Rift here, and we have something very interesting. We have double teleport this time from the side of Rutgers. And you have the single teleport right here, and what's really interesting here is that both teams actually, an invade coming out here from the JHU side. It looks like Eternal Crystal a little bit. Oh no, he's relatively safe there inside the jungle, in the care of his own teammates.
Yeah, they were trying to invade into the onto the Ornn, but since he is very tanky, he was able to survive that level 1 invade.
And what about these first item buys here? You see the Dorian shield for this top lane Kled, whereas you have this elixir right here for the other team, for Vani's Angels.
Yes, I do believe that is a little too defensive from the clan. I think he should get the blade, which gives him more AD and HP and the lifesteal, and then try to beat down the Ornn. But since he does not have the Dorn's blade, it will be a little tough.
And both bottom lanes here starting that buff towards the bottom side for their jungler. And it looks like early trades coming out here. 25th Soul coming out a little bit worse for wear as the Ornn bullying him early game. He's down to a third HP, whereas his Ornn is still above half HP. And he still has those elixir potions to sustain heavily into lane. And it looks like the early level 2 coming in here for Vani's Angels means that they have the aggression in the lane. Seems that Eternal Crystal playing the matchup much better this time, actually freezing the wave towards his side and forcing an early recall from 25th Soul here. Oh, and a gank coming in from Best Kanana here, and a brilliant pull from the Rin Tosaka. That's an interesting name there, Rin Tosaka. Do you know where that's from? Is that from a manga, an anime? What is that?
That is from the anime called Fate Zero, and then Rin Tosaka is one of those contestants in the game. If you watch the anime, and she was very thick
Oh, alright. So any of these other players' names, I mean, you have the potential 5. It looks like he's a tryout for this JHU team. You know, Minecraft Kid 2008. What more is there to say about that? But on this Rutgers side, do you know about any of these players? Where did they get their names from? Oh, but sorry, early game aggression coming in here. A 2v1 in the top lane, and first blood going over to Eternal Crystal as he takes down the Kled in the top lane with the help of Best Cannon and A.
Yes, it is very easy to gank the Kled because he doesn't have much really escape other than his E. But if he is knocked down from his Scarl, then he is very slow.
Alright, so back to our previous point. I mean, what's the story about these Vani's Angels players? Where did they get these names from? Who are they?
I do believe Best Cannon is because he does one-trick cannon, and then he did go up to Master with his one-trick cannon, and then for Virtue, I guess he just a very virtuous person, so.
Very selfless there as Best Cannon and A. That Cannon one trick being bubbled up there and being ganked by that Kane. They need to evacuate him out of there before he takes too much damage. This early top lane fight going the opposite of how it did last game. Both players playing new champions. It means that it is a different matchup here as the Kled goes in and just smacks that Ornn real quick and telling him to get out of there.
Yes, I'm very surprised how the Ornn is able to sort of match the Kled. I mean, for Ornn, he does a shield and CC.
See here that Kled's actually very low HP, but he's still chasing this Ornn, and as Ornn goes back in, he drops dangerously low. If Eternal Crystal only had flash right here, he could finish him, but he finishes him regardless, killing him. And 2 kills here for the top laner of Vani's Angels. A stellar performance from this man, shutting down JHU's top lane carry in 25th Soul. I mean, perhaps the Kled wasn't the pick for this game. As you see, he's off to a rough start.
Yes, because of the Kled falling behind, he would not be able to mash the Ornn anymore. Unless he does try to get ganked by.
Oh, and a brilliant gank there by Best Cannon and A, removing the flash of the Rinto Saka, means that the next time around they'll be able to take that mid lane and get that kill. Ooh, but a counter here from Minecraft Kid, just backing away the Vani's Angels side as a double bomb lands from Virtue. I mean, this Virtue Zillion actually really impressing me here as a trade comes into the bot lane, ignites and flashes from both, and Andes dropping first in this bottom lane. The return kill from Alphas means that the fight will continue, and Ornn teleports down here, drops onto that potential 5 support, and it's a chase down, a 2v1 through the river as pings go down for help on there, and another kill for Eternal Crystal means that 3-0 for this top lane from Vani's Angels. I mean, this bottom lane matchup, they went aggressive at a relatively awkward time. Curian going in there with it before hitting level 5, and Andes, you know, dropping dangerously low, not respecting his enemy right there.
Yes, he was unfortunately bubbled when he tried to does his net charge away from to combo with his Q. Because of the Q landing, Caitlyn was able to die there with the ignite.
It seems both summoners burnt for the AD carry of Vani's Angels, and both summoners also burnt for the other side's AD carry. It seems the only player remaining with flash towards that bottom side is Alphas, holding on to that. And it looks like Rutgers here starting up that Infernal Dragon. Infernal Dragon, one of those team fight dragons able to give you a boost of damage and AP. It looks like Minecraft Kid looking for this steal almost. Flashes in there but loses the smite fight as a fight ensues. Ultimate comes down from Minecraft Kid onto the Eddie carry. Passive popped here by Zach. It looks like a Zillion has triggered his own ultimate. Staying alive, getting that kill. But Kled dominating this top lane, chasing down Eternal Crystal. This 0-2 Kled solo killing this 3-0 Ornn, actually. Very strange interactions across the map here. As it looks like 25th Soul somehow winning that 1v1 in the top lane.
Yes, because the Ornn did not have the ultimate to, and then we see unfortunate for Best Cat and then being found by the Vladimir there. But yes, Eternal Crystal did not respect the Cled's damage because he thought the Cled would not have any damage because of the longsword and the Doran shield. But he did not have his ultimate from Ornn or his flash, so it was very disrespectful to walk up onto the Cled there.
That being said, though, you see Virtue outplaying Minecraft Kid right there, getting that kill onto the enemy jungler, getting like that red buff and his own life. Ooh, a great E there from that Ezreal, getting him away from that empowered Karma Q. Means that he can sustain it in lane relatively easily. As we head into the mid game right now, we see, unlike last game, the gold discrepancy is pretty close and no towers have yet to be dropped heading into the 10th minute here.
Yeah, they were not able to get the Vladimir again this time from Best Cat NA at level 2. So the Vladimir is able to stay alive and that not fall off for the mid game.
So it still looks like Virtue is still bullying this Vladimir far away with this double buff he has. Excuse me, it's a single buff now. I mean, he's landing all of those stacks, those time bombs on his counterpart, zoning him away pretty effectively as you see another top lane trade coming out here. And a gank by Best Cat NA walking into the bot lane, and a very low Furion right here as he gets jumped on, and the kill comes over for the support of Vani's Angels. And 2 assists going over to them as well, with the first tower being dropped by Rutgers. And another time bomb landing on Rintosaka, and he doesn't flash or pool that, meaning that Virtue gets a solo kill in the mid lane, excuse me, against Rintosaka with his flash and pool up, I believe.
Yes, because the Zilean was able to poke down the Vlad too much, Vladimir couldn't do anything in the mid lane, and now it's very unfortunate for the Vladimir because he has no wave clear, unlike the Zilean, which is the double Q. And then once he hits his Archangel right now, he should be able to clear the wave really fast.
Yeah, it seems like Virtue actually carrying pretty hard on this Zilean. I mean, last game he popped off on that Swain, and it looks like he's looking to do the same thing with the Zilean this game. Although Zilean isn't, you know, your everyday Kuiper carry, still churning out that damage, still applying the pressure and helping his team win the game.
Yes, Zilean is almost at the 10 CS per minute mark right now, with 106, with 26 CS up ahead, and 2 kills.
Yes, stellar play by Virtue himself as we take a look at the gold total right now. Oh, excuse me, an engage coming in here from Kayn and Nami. The ultimate being dropped on Andes as flashes and heals come out. The Kayn overextending. Minecraft Kid going down means that the ace in the hole comes in on potential 5, cleaning up that kill. 2-0 so far towards this top lane side as we see Virtue rotating behind them as a 4-man tower dive looks to be happening right now, but the Vladimir gets caught by the Caitlyn trap. Means that the dive is a go. Best Cat NA dropping low, but that passive, that ultimate from Zilean means that he gets to live again. A 4-0 trade for Vani's Angels on that top lane side. Means that JHU comes out worse for wear, and it's up to this Kled right now. It's up to this 1-2 Kled to win this solo lane matchup as the rest of his team is just dropping left and right. But it looks like Eternal Crystal popping his ult, going back in onto this Kled here, trading back and forth, and the solo kill comes out for Eternal Crystal, meaning a team ace for Vani's Angels, wiping JHU off the map in this game too.
Yes, the Kane on the top lane went way too deep without his team backup. He went inside the Caitlyn when the Caitlyn was basically on the turret, and now they give up all their life and the turret top and mid lane with about 9k gold lead. Oh, sorry, 7k gold lead from Rutgers
Quick maths.
side.
Quick maths.
Yes, quick math.
So it seems here the Rift Herald's gone over to Vani's Angels as well, and it looks like a mana-less Ornn still with Flash though, taking this 1v1 against this Kane as the rotations are pretty late. It looks like he's winning this 1v1 with all these minions actually, and Kane pops the ultimate, but Kled coming in with his gank, and Eternal Crystal not able to finish off that game.
Yes, Eternal Crystal was having too much fun with his super tank and a lot of minions with the Kane, but down bot.
Yeah, he could have, I think he could have backed right there, and since he had teleport, he could have rejoined his team from this dragon. Oh, but the snipe almost comes through for Curian right there, almost snatching away that dragon. So far for Vani's Angel side, they have one Ocean Drake and one Infernal Drake. What does that mean for the Rutgers side against JHU with these two dragons?
For the fire drake, it does give more AD and AP for the on the Rutgers, and with more AD, this should amplify the Caitlyn's damage, the Zillion's damage, and also Karma's shield, because the Karma does get the AP, and then it should amplify her shield shield. And then for the Ocean Drake, it is very good for the Rutgers side because it does give them more HP and mana, which will keep the Caitlyn safe and the Zillion safe during the team fights.
So it looks like all in favor of Vani's Angels right now as you see them rotating towards the bottom lane. And a 1v1 for Eternal Crystals coming out here against Curian. Ezreal, the AD carry versus the top laner, the Fed top laner, as it looks like Eternal Crystals is walking this one in as flashes pop for Curian and the ultimate pop for Ornn, but a flash away from Curian too, but a tower dive coming in, takes him under tower, chomping him away. The enemy AD carry in JHU being torn limb from limb to limb by that Ornn. As it looks like the Rift Hail being deployed in that bottom lane means that Rutgers, Vani's Angels can still push, and the teleport coming out from Eternal Crystal means that it will be a 5v4 in this bottom lane. As you see Beskin and Nene jumping in there with that Zillion ultimate on him, the Ornn joining in the fight as well. It's a 4v5 in the bottom lane. Rutgers dropping dangerously low, but the tower goes in their favor. The Kane gets picked up right now, and it looks like that Kled picks up that kill against Ornn before having his life dropped as well, and the Zac passive bringing Baskin and Nene back up as you see a double kill coming over for Andes here. And the inhibitor as well in all of this. It looks like that Caitlyn that we highlighted in the pick ban phase is actually just taking over this game completely.
Yes, even though that was very good for the JHU, but since they have but they did not get any they didn't have any damage from on their side, so they were not able to kill anyone other than the very low Ornn.
Yeah, it looks like a 9k gold lead now for the Rutgers side. Under 20 minutes though. I mean, if this was your everyday solo queue game, I think at this point people on your team would be calling GG.
Yes, right now they would have gotten the FF at 15. However, since this is a tournament, they did not want to press the forfeit and then play it out.
And it looks like Vani's Angels engaging without their AD carrier right now. A double time bomb landing from Virtue means that the members of JHU are dangerously low, dropping two of them. The enemy, the JHU, Vladimir and Ezreal both being dropped right there. I mean, they're just steamrolling through mid lane. They don't even need their AD carry in Andes here to finish off the rest of the game.
Yes, since there are about 10k goldie right now, they are able to run it down mid and finish this game up very quick. With the Vladimir down.
Seems like the same situation as last game. it's up to Rutgers right here to throw the game for JHU to really get a foothold here. As Rutgers sieges the second inhibitor turret, the ultimate's being popped from both teams left and right. Kled engaging there with the cane, but being shut down by this Ornn as the Zillion ultimate popped on the Zac. I mean, Zac can just freely walk forward, but the Ornn engaging again on this Vladimir, but Virtue picking up that time bomb onto the cooling Vladimir, but a flash forward from Andes and a brilliant empowered Q from that Karma takes down the Ezreal. 3 kills for the Rutgers side as they look to break open the nexus of JHU. Super Minions pouring in here. They're working on these nexus turrets. They're dropping dangerously low, and the Ornn ultimate coming out again, knocking the King up, pulling him back with the Zac ultimate. Zac going down there right there means that JHU does get a kill in return, but it looks like Rutgers, it's just a matter of time before they finish off this turret right here. The turret goes down, the Nexus at half HP. Kled looks to re-engage here to get some time for his team. It looks like a team fight around the Nexus. Kled dropping dangerously low, the members of Rutgers looking to kill him. Vlad re-engaging here, but Andes knocking on that Nexus means that it's GG to the Vani's Angels.
Yes, congratulations on to the Rutgers side. They have streamrolled both games. And then they have finished around 20-minute mark for both games. And then you see Virtue deathless this game like the last game.
Let me get back onto this screen really quickly. Looks like I am not able to go back to the main screen right now. So I do believe that that was a best of 3. Am I right there? Or
Yes, it is a best of 3. So Rutgers have won 2-0 this series.
all right, so it looks like it's GG to the Vani's Angels against JHU. JHU dropping to that 4th place match to play against Cactus tomorrow. That match, the 3rd place match, will happen in the afternoon. You can check that out at our free play section tomorrow. And the grand finals tomorrow for, I believe, the Vani's Angels versus Penn State University League of Legends. Penn State looking for that revenge against Rutgers. And it has to be said, Vani's Angels not the ULOL team right now. I do believe that none of the ULOL players are on this team, if I'm correct in saying that.
Yes. This is the ASO team for Rutgers Esports. And then the YOLO team is the Team Cactus. And then PSU, the Penn State University, and the Rutgers for this team went 2-0 in their semifinals. So we have 2 really good teams for the grand finals tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. GG's to Vani's Angels. I am Jonah, tournament admin for the Scarlet Classic 4, joined by Steve here from League of Legends. Our League of Legends club hosting a great tournament this year. I mean, I can't wait for tomorrow. The games will be intense. I mean, I hope it's not as one-sided as it was today. What do you think, Steve?
I do believe it will not be one-sided. I think it will be very, very fun tomorrow, especially when you have 2 great teams from PSU and from Rutgers.
Mm-hmm. So Penn State coming here. Penn State coming in here against the Vani's Angels. I mean, if they're watching this game right now, if they just watched that game just now, they have to be a little bit concerned against these players. They look pretty strong, finishing both games out within 20 minutes almost.
Yes, PSU has to do their homework and then see what they should do for the draft and for their strategy coming into the grand finals.
All right. Well, that was a great game of League of Legends, a great series of League of Legends. Vani's Angels advancing again, as we said before. Thank you to all our sponsors: Astros, XLR8, Corsair, HyperX, NZXT, HTC Vive, Microsoft, Soylent, Soy Boys, Republic of Gamers, Asus, and Discord, Samsung, Kite and Key. Special shout out to MSI, thank you very much, and to Tespa as well. And you can see all our other sponsors here on the screen right now. We will see you tomorrow at the Scarlet Classic 4. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys, and have a great night.
Thank you.